They said I was losing my mind, that I was too old to live alone, too fragile to make decisions. But the truth? I was testing them, my own children, to see what love really meant when they thought I couldn't remember a thing. I'm Dorothy Mae Richardson, and this is the story of how I faked memory loss to find out who my children truly were. My name is Dorothy Mae Richardson. I'm 72 years old, and I've spent 50 of those years being a mother. Not just any mother, the kind who sacrificed everything, the kind who worked 2 jobs so my babies could have new shoes, the kind who stayed up all night sewing their prom dresses because we couldn't afford store-bought, the kind who believed that if you loved hard enough, raised them right enough, gave them everything you had, they'd remember. They'd remember. But let me tell you something about memory. Sometimes the people we love the most, they forget the fastest. This is my story. And honey, it's going to hurt. But stick with me, because by the end, you're going to understand why some lessons can only be learned the hard way. I live alone now, have been for 6 years, ever since my husband Marcus passed. Heart attack. Gone at 68. Right when we were supposed to be enjoying our golden years. Right when we'd finally paid off the house. Finally had a little money saved. But that's life, isn't it? You make plans. God laughs. The house is quiet these days. Too quiet. I keep it spotless, though. That's just how I was raised. Everything has its place. The throw pillows on the sofa lined up just so. The family photos on the mantel, dusted every Wednesday. Pictures of better times. Pictures of when my children still looked at me like I hung the moon. I have 2 children, Diana and Jack. My pride and joy, or at least they used to be. Diana's 48 now. She's a real estate agent, does pretty well for herself. Got that big house in the hills, drives a Mercedes, always dressed like she's about to close $1 million deal. She married Richard, a dentist. They have 2 kids, my grandchildren, Madison and Tyler. Beautiful children. I hardly see them anymore. Then there's Jack, my baby boy, 45. He works in tech, something with computers I never fully understood. He's always talking about startups and investments and opportunities. His wife, Nicole, she's an influencer. You know the type. Always on her phone, taking pictures of her food, talking about her brand. They don't have children yet. Too busy building our empire, Jack always says. Both my children live within 20 miles of me. 20 miles. But I might as well be living in another country for how often I see them. Oh, they call. Every couple of weeks. Hey, Mom, how you doing? Yeah, we're real busy. We'll come by soon. Love you, gotta go. 5 minutes. That's what I get. 5 minutes of their precious time. But I'm not bitter. Or at least, I'm trying not to be. I tell myself they're just living their lives. They're successful. Isn't that what I wanted? Didn't I work myself to the bone so they could have better than I did? I'm standing at my kitchen counter, making my morning tea, when I realize I can't find my keys. Again. I've been looking for 10 minutes now, checked my purse 3 times, looked in the dish by the door. Nothing. That's when Mrs. Chen from next door knocks. I can see her through the kitchen window, holding something up. I open the door. "Dorothy," she says, her voice gentle but concerned. "I found these in your mailbox, your car keys." My stomach drops. My mailbox? I must have been distracted, I say, taking them from her. "Thank you, Linda." She gives me this look, this pitying look that makes my skin crawl. "Dorothy, honey," she says, touching my arm, "you're not as sharp as you used to be. Maybe it's time to think about, you know, getting some help around here. I smile tightly. I'm fine, Linda. Just had a lot on my mind. But after she leaves, I close the door and lean against it. Keys in the mailbox. How did that even happen? I walk to my bathroom mirror and stare at myself. Really stare. When did I get so old? When did these lines get so deep? When did my hands start looking like my grandmother's hands? I'm 72, not ancient, not senile, but everyone's starting to look at me like I am. Last week, Diana came by to drop off some groceries I didn't ask for. She walked through my house like she was inspecting it, opened my fridge, checked expiration dates, actually threw away my leftover chicken because it had been there too long. "Mom, you need to be more careful," she said. "Food poisoning at your age is serious." At your age. Like I'm a child who needs monitoring. That afternoon, Shirley comes by. Shirley's been my best friend for 40 years. We met at church, both of us young mothers trying to figure it all out. Our kids grew up together. But while my children barely call, Shirley's daughter Clara calls her every single day. Visits twice a week. Takes her to lunch, to the doctor, to get her hair done. We're sitting on my back porch, drinking sweet tea, when I finally say what's been eating at me. "Shirley, can I ask you something?" "Anything, baby." "Do you ever wonder if your kids would still love you if you couldn't do anything for them anymore?" Shirley sets down her glass, looks at me with those knowing eyes. "What brought this on?" I tell her about Diana's inspection, about Jack's last call, where he spent 15 minutes asking about my finances and only 2 minutes asking how I was feeling, about the keys in the mailbox and Mrs. Chen's pitying look. Sometimes I feel like I'm just useful to them, I say quietly. Like as long as I have this house they can inherit, as long as I have money they might need someday, as long as I can babysit or cook or help out, I matter. But what happens when I can't do those things anymore? What happens when I'm just a burden? Shirley reaches across the table and takes my hand. "Dorothy, you raised good children." "Did I?" The question hangs in the air between us. "I gave them everything, Shirley. Everything. I worked at that nursing home during the day and cleaned offices at night so they could have the things I never had. I made sure they went to good schools. I paid for Diana's wedding. All of it, even though Marcus and I had to take out a loan. I helped Jack with his first business, gave him $15,000 we'd saved for our anniversary trip. And they never paid it back. They never even mention it. Have you told them how you feel? How do I say that without sounding like I'm guilt-tripping them? Without sounding like one of those bitter old mothers who keeps score?" Shirley squeezes my hand. "You know what the problem is? You're afraid of the answer. You're afraid to find out if they love you for you, or just for what you can give them." Her words hit me like a slap. Because she's right. I'm terrified of the truth. I can't sleep. I keep thinking about Shirley's words, about the look in Diana's eyes when she was checking my fridge, about Jack's questions about my estate planning. They're circling, like vultures, waiting. And the worst part? I don't even know if they realize they're doing it. I get out of bed and walk to my living room. The house is dark except for the streetlight outside casting shadows through the windows. I look at the photos on the mantel. Diana at her college graduation, me beaming beside her, so proud I thought I'd burst. Jack on his wedding day, handsome in his tuxedo, hugging me tight. When did it change? When did I become an obligation instead of a mother? I pick up an old photo album. The leather is worn, the pages yellowed. I flip through slowly. Diana as a baby, her face covered in birthday cake. Jack learning to ride his bike, me running behind him with my arms outstretched, ready to catch him. Family vacations we could barely afford but took anyway because I wanted them to have memories. Christmas mornings when their faces lit up like fireworks. I gave you everything, I whisper to the photos. Everything I had. And then, in the quiet of my living room, an idea begins to form. Dangerous. Probably crazy. But necessary. What if I could know? What if I could really know who they are when they think I can't remember? When they think I can't hold them accountable? I've heard stories. Old folks developing dementia, and suddenly their children are fighting over the estate before they're even gone. Suddenly it's about power of attorney and who gets what and making sure they secure things while they still can. What if I pretended? What if I faked memory loss and saw how they really treated me? Saw what they'd do if they thought I was vulnerable? The thought makes my heart race. It's manipulative. It's a test. It's everything I taught my children not to do. But God forgive me. I need to know. I need to know if I raised children who loved me, or children who are just waiting for their inheritance. I look at myself in the mirror above the mantel. My reflection looks tired, scared, determined. Let's see what love means to them now, I say to my reflection. And in that moment, in the darkness of my living room, I make my decision. I'm going to fake it, the confusion, the memory loss, the helplessness, and I'm going to watch. I'm going to watch what they do when they think I'm slipping away. God help me, and God help them. Because the truth is about to come out, whether they're ready for it or not. It starts small. It has to, if I want them to believe it. I call Diana on Thursday morning, something I rarely do because she's always so busy. Mom? She sounds surprised. Is everything okay? Diana, honey, I say, letting my voice shake just a little. I can't remember if I took my blood pressure medicine this morning. I'm looking at the bottle and I can't remember. There's a pause. I can almost hear her mind working. Did you check your pill organizer? My what? Your pill organizer, Mom. The blue one I bought you. It has the days of the week on it. Oh, I let out a confused little laugh. I forgot about that. Let me look. Another pause. Mom, are you feeling okay? You sound a little off. I'm fine, baby. Just tired. Didn't sleep well. Okay, well, check the organizer and call me back. Call who back? Me, Mom, Diana, your daughter. Oh, of course. I'm sorry, honey. My mind is just foggy today. After I hang up, I sit there for a moment, my heart pounding. That was terrifying, but also necessary. 2 hours later, Diana calls back. Mom, I've been thinking, maybe I should come by this weekend, take you to get checked out. Checked out? Yeah, maybe just a regular checkup. It's been a while, hasn't it? It's been 3 months. She knows this because I told her, but I play along. Has it? I suppose you're right. That would be nice, honey. Great. I'll come by Saturday. We can have lunch after. She sounds almost cheerful, like she's already planning something. Diana arrives right on time, 11 a.m., in her silver Mercedes. She's dressed business casual. Nice jeans, a silk blouse, designer sunglasses pushed up on her head. Hey, Mama, she says, kissing my cheek as I get in the car. She smells like expensive perfume. You look nice. Thank you, baby. So do you. We drive in silence for a moment before she says, So I've been thinking. That house is getting to be a lot for you to manage on your own. Here we go. It's not so bad, I say mildly. I keep it clean. I know you do. You've always been so good at that. But it's a lot of upkeep. The yard, the repairs, all those stairs. And if you're having memory issues... I didn't say I was having memory issues. Mom, you called me confused about your medication. You forgot about the pill organizer I just bought you last month. Did you? I suppose I forgot. I see her glance at me, concern mixed with something else, something calculating. That's what I'm worried about, she says gently. What if something happens and you can't call for help? What if you fall? What if you leave the stove on? The irony isn't lost on me. She sounds so caring, so worried, but I can hear what's underneath it. Fear of liability, fear of responsibility, and yes, fear of losing control of assets. I've been thinking, Diana continues, maybe you should come stay with Richard and me for a while, just until we figure out what's going on with you. Stay with you? Yeah, we have that guest room. It's really nice, Mom. You'd have your own bathroom, your own space, and I could keep an eye on you, make sure you're eating right, taking your medicine. Keep an eye on me. That's very sweet, honey. Let me think about it. Of course, no pressure. I just want what's best for you. She reaches over and pats my hand, and I feel nothing but a cold knot in my stomach. That night, Jack calls. It's barely been 3 days, and they've already talked to each other. Hey, Ma, he says. Diana told me you've been having some memory problems? Diana said that? Yeah, she's worried about you. We both are. I'm fine, Jack. I just had a foggy morning. Mom, it's okay to admit when you need help. There's no shame in it. I know that. Good. Because Diana and I have been talking, and we think you and Diana have been talking about me? Of course we have. We're your children. We want to make sure you're taken care of. There's something about his tone, something too smooth, too rehearsed. What did you and Diana decide? I ask carefully. Well, we think you should move in with Diana for a bit. She has the space, and you know Nicole and I are always traveling for work. It just makes more sense. I see. And Mom, while we're talking, when's the last time you reviewed your estate documents? There it is. My what? Your will, your power of attorney, all that stuff. Dad helped you set it up, right? Your father handled all that. Right, but that was 6 years ago. Things change. You need to update things. Diana and I were thinking we should meet with your lawyer just to make sure everything is current. Jack, I'm not dead yet. Mom, come on, don't be like that. We're just trying to help. Help with what exactly? With making sure things are organized. What if something happens to you? What if you need someone to make decisions for you? These are important conversations, Ma. My hand tightens around the phone. You're right, I say slowly. These are important conversations. Let me think about all this. Okay, but don't wait too long. You know how you forget things now. Now. As if I've already been diagnosed with something. As if my fate is already decided. After we hang up, I sit in my kitchen, shaking. They've already coordinated, already strategized, already started planning their takeover of my life. And I've barely started pretending. Diana shows up on Wednesday afternoon without calling first. She has a man with her, older, white, carrying a briefcase. Mom, she says, breezing past me into my house. This is Gerald Harris. He's a geriatric care consultant. A what? He helps families like ours create care plans for aging parents. I thought it would be helpful for him to assess the house, see what accommodations you might need. I stare at her. You brought a stranger into my house without asking me? Mom, don't be difficult. This is for your own good. Gerald, she's been having memory problems, confusion. We're worried she's not safe here alone. Gerald gives me a professional smile. Mrs. Richardson, I assure you, this is just an informal assessment. Nothing to worry about. But I am worried, because I can see where this is going. I watch as he walks through my house, taking notes. Diana follows him, pointing things out. See those stairs? She could fall. And the bathroom, no grab bars. The kitchen has a gas stove. What if she forgets to turn it off? Each observation is a nail in my coffin of independence. You left the stove on again, Diana suddenly says, pointing at my tea kettle on the burner, even though it's not even lit. I was making tea earlier, I say. But what if you'd forgotten? What if you'd left it on all night? I didn't. I wouldn't. But I can see she's building a case. After Gerald leaves, promising to send Diana a full report, my daughter sits me down at my own kitchen table. Mom, I think it's time. You should come stay with us, just for a little while. Diana, please, I'm scared for you. What if something happens? She takes my hands. Her eyes are wet, like she might cry. And here's the terrible thing. I almost believe her. Almost. But then she says, and we should probably get you to sign some papers, just to make sure Jack and I can make decisions for you if you can't make them yourself. There it is. What kind of papers? Power of attorney. It's just a precaution. It means if you get confused or sick, Jack and I can handle your finances, medical decisions, all that stuff. It'll make everything easier. Easier for who? I'll think about it, I say. Her face hardens just for a second. Then the concerned expression is back. Don't think too long, Mama. We need to act while you still can. While I still can. As if my time is running out. As if I'm already gone. I don't sleep again that night. I keep replaying it in my head. The consultant, the assessment, the papers Diana wants me to sign. They're not even pretending anymore. They're moving fast. Because they think I'm vulnerable. They think I'm slipping. And the worst part? If I really were confused, if I really were losing my mind, I'd probably just go along with it. I'd probably sign whatever they put in front of me, grateful that someone was taking care of things. That's what they're counting on. I sit up in bed, turn on the lamp, and pull out an old journal from my nightstand. It's leather-bound, a gift from Marcus years ago that I never used. Until now. I open it to the first page and begin to write. Date, Wednesday, March 12th. Diana brought a consultant to my house today. Didn't ask permission. Basically surveyed my home like it was a crime scene. She's pushing me to move in with her and sign power of attorney. Jack called earlier this week about my estate documents. They've talked to each other. They have a plan. They think I'm losing my mind, so they're moving in for the kill. I need to document everything, every conversation, every manipulation, every lie. Because if this goes where I think it's going, I'll need proof. I need proof of what my children really are. I close the journal and hold it against my chest. This is really happening. My babies, the children I raised, the ones I sacrificed everything for, are trying to take everything from me. And they think I'm too senile to notice. Oh, my darlings, you have no idea who you're dealing with. I agree to move in with Diana, not because I want to, but because I need to see this through. I need to know how far they'll go. Diana picks me up on a gray Saturday morning. She's brought boxes. I thought we'd pack up some of your essentials, she says brightly. Clothes, toiletries, photos. We can come back for anything else you need. I watch as she and Richard load my things into their SUV. My favorite chair, my photo albums, my clothes. It feels like they're dismantling my life. What about my houseplants? I ask. Diana barely looks up. Mom, you can't take care of plants right now. We'll water them when we check on the house. But I've had these plants for 20 years. Some of them were gifts from Marcus. I don't argue. I just watch. The drive to Diana's house in the hills is quiet. She lives in one of those new developments where every house looks the same. Big, modern, expensive, and somehow cold despite all the windows. She shows me to the guest room. It's nice, I'll give her that. Big bed, its own bathroom, a sitting area by the window. See, Diana says, you'll be comfortable here. But comfortable isn't the same as home. The kids are excited to see you, she adds. Madison's at cheer practice, but she'll be home for dinner. Tyler's at a friend's house. My grandchildren. I barely know them anymore. Madison's 16 now. Tyler's 13. When did they get so big? That's nice, I say. Diana puts her hands on her hips, looking around the room. Okay, so we need to establish some ground rules. Rules? Just for everyone's safety. Meal times are at set times. Breakfast at 7, lunch at noon, dinner at 6. I know you like to snack, but we're really trying to eat healthier as a family. And please, try not to touch things around the house. Some of my decorations are expensive and fragile. I stare at her. Don't touch things? I'm just saying, be careful. This isn't like your house, Mom. We've invested a lot in making this place nice. She says it with a smile, but I hear the message loud and clear. This isn't your house. You're a guest. And guests follow rules. Dinners at Diana's are events. Everything is plated perfectly. The table is set like we're in a restaurant. Richard sits at the head, Diana to his right, Madison and Tyler across from each other, and me. I'm at the far end, like an afterthought. How was your day, Mom? Diana asks as she cuts her grilled chicken into precise pieces. Fine. Quiet. That's good. You rested? I'm not an invalid, Diana. Richard clears his throat. Margaret, we're just trying to make sure you're comfortable. It's Dorothy. He blinks. What? My name is Dorothy. You called me Margaret. Diana laughs nervously. Mom, his name is Richard. You just called him Margaret. Did I? No, I didn't. But I can see what she's doing. She's trying to make me seem more confused than I am. I'm sorry, I say quietly. I'm tired. Madison doesn't look up from her phone. Tyler is wearing earbuds, barely aware anyone else is at the table. This is family dinner? Mom, Jack called me today, Diana says suddenly. He wants to set up a meeting with your lawyer, next week if possible. Why? To discuss your estate planning. We talked about this. I don't remember agreeing to anything. Well, that's kind of the problem, isn't it? She says it gently, but it lands like a slap. Your memory. That's why we need to handle this now, while you still can. Richard nods. It's really for the best, Dorothy. These things are complicated. Better to have everything in order. In order for what? For the future, Diana says. For when, you know, when you can't make decisions anymore. When I can't. Not if. When. I'm sitting right here, I say. I can still make my own decisions. Of course you can, Diana says soothingly. No one's saying you can't. We're just trying to help. But it doesn't feel like help. It feels like I'm being erased. I can't sleep in this house. The bed is too soft. The room is too quiet. I'm not used to the sounds. The hum of the air conditioning. The distant whoosh of cars on the highway. At 2 a.m., I give up and get out of bed. My throat is dry. I need water. I pad down the hallway in my nightgown and slippers, careful not to wake anyone. As I approach the stairs, I hear voices. Low, urgent. Diana and Richard in the kitchen. I freeze at the top of the stairs. Moving faster than I thought, Diana is saying. She seems more confused every day. You sure it's not an act? That's Richard's voice. Why would she fake it? No, she's slipping, Richard, which means we need to move fast. Your brother on board? Jack? Completely. He's already talked to Mom's bank about getting added to her accounts. Says he can probably get it done by next week if we have the POA. My heart stops. My bank? Jack's trying to access my accounts? What about the house? Richard asks. That's the priority. Once we have power of attorney, we can start the process of selling it. The market's hot right now. We could probably get $750, maybe $800,000. $750,000. They're planning to sell my house. The house Marcus and I bought 40 years ago. The house where I raised my children. The house I've lived in for most of my adult life. That would solve a lot of our problems, Richard says. Tell me about it. Madison's tuition is killing us, and we're already over-leveraged with the vacation property. I grip the railing, trying to keep myself from screaming. They're broke, or close to it, and they're planning to fix their financial problems with my house. What if she doesn't want to sell? Richard asks. Diana laughs. Actually laughs. She won't even remember she owns it soon. The consultant said she's got maybe 6 months before the confusion becomes severe. We just need her to sign the papers now while she still can, and then we handle the rest. 6 months. She's already written me off, already planned my decline. What about Jack's cut? Richard asks. We split everything 50-50, like we agreed. He's fine with it. He knows Diana and I are doing all the heavy lifting here, having her live with us. This is fair. Fair. There's nothing fair about any of this. I back away slowly, quietly, and return to my room. I don't get the water. I sit on the edge of the bed, my hands shaking, my chest tight. This is worse than I imagined. They're not just waiting for me to die. They're actively planning to liquidate my life while I'm still alive. They're banking on me being too confused to stop them. I pull out my journal and write it all down. Every word I heard, every detail. They think I have 6 months. They're planning to sell my house. Jack is trying to access my bank accounts. They're in financial trouble, and they're going to fix it with my money. I gave them everything, and now they're taking the rest. The days blur together in Diana's house. They treat me like a child, worse than a child, like a broken thing that might cause problems if left unsupervised. Diana makes me ask permission to leave my room. "Mom, where are you going?" she asks one morning when I come downstairs at 10 a.m. "The kitchen. I wanted some tea." "I'll make it for you. You just sit down." "Diana, I can make my own tea." "I know, but last time you left the stove on." "I didn't, but I don't argue." She brings me tea in a cup I don't like with too much sugar and hands it to me like I'm an invalid. When I get up to use the bathroom, she asks if I need help. "I'm 72, not paralyzed," I snap. "I'm just trying to help," she says, hurt in her voice. But she's not trying to help. She's establishing patterns, making me dependent, making it look like I can't function on my own. One afternoon, I try to go for a walk. I've always taken walks. It's how I clear my head. I make it to the end of the driveway before Diana pulls up in her car. "Mom, what are you doing out here?" "Walking." "You can't just wander off. I had no idea where you were. I came home and you were gone." "Diana, I went for a walk. I do know how to walk." "Not by yourself, you don't. Not anymore. What if you got lost? What if something happened?" She escorts me back to the house like I'm under arrest. After that, she hides my shoes. I'm not even kidding. She takes my walking shoes and puts them somewhere I can't find them. "For your own safety," she says. I'm a prisoner in my own daughter's house. The breaking point comes 3 weeks into my stay. I'm in the living room, sitting on the pristine white couch, drinking my afternoon tea. I'm being careful. I'm always careful. But Madison comes running through, knocks into me, and tea spills on the cushion. Not a lot. Maybe a tablespoon. But it's there. A small brown stain on the white fabric. Madison doesn't even apologize. She just says, "Grandma," like it's my fault, and runs upstairs. Diana appears within seconds. "Mom, what happened?" "Madison bumped into me and—" "You spilled tea on my couch?" "It was an accident." "Mom, this is a Restoration Hardware couch. Do you know how much this cost?" "I'm sorry. I'll clean it." "No, you won't. You'll make it worse." She's furious now, really angry. "I told you to be careful. I told you not to touch things." "Diana, I was just sitting." "You can't even hold a cup steady anymore. This is exactly what I was worried about." She pulls out her phone and takes a picture of the stain. "What are you doing?" I ask. "Documenting this, for the consultant's report. This shows you can't be left unsupervised." My blood runs cold. She's documenting my incidents like I'm a case study, like I'm evidence of my own incompetence. "I think you need to sleep in your room tonight," she says coldly, "until you can show me you can be trusted in the common areas." Trusted? If you can't behave, Mom, there are consequences. And that night, I sit in my room, the guest room that's become my cell, and I understand. This isn't about my safety. This is about control. They're systematically breaking me down, making me seem incompetent, making me look like I need a conservatorship or full-time care, all so they can take everything without me fighting back. I pull out my journal. Date, April 2nd. Diana took a picture of a tea stain today. She's documenting everything to prove I'm incompetent. She sent me to my room like I'm 5 years old. I'm not allowed to walk, not allowed to use the kitchen, not allowed to exist without supervision. This is what they do to people in nursing homes. This is how they break your spirit. But I'm not broken yet. I'm watching. I'm documenting. I'm remembering every single thing. And when the time comes, they're going to learn that I remember everything. That night, alone in my room, I make a decision. I need to call my lawyer, the real one. Because if I don't act soon, Diana and Jack are going to succeed, and I'll lose everything. My home, my money, my dignity, while I'm still alive to see it happen. Tomorrow, I think. Tomorrow I'll find a way to make the call. But first, I need to let them think they're winning. I need to let them think they've broken me. Because broken people don't fight back. And I'm about to fight the battle of my life. Diana takes Madison to school and leaves me alone for exactly 45 minutes. She doesn't think I know her schedule, but I do. I've been watching, waiting. The moment her car pulls out of the driveway, I'm up. My phone, my old flip phone that I've had for years, is hidden in my underwear drawer. Diana doesn't know I still have it. She thinks I only use the house phone she can monitor. My hands shake as I dial. Bernard and Associates, how may I help you? This is Dorothy Richardson. I need to speak with Martin Bernard. One moment, please. Martin Bernard has been my lawyer for 30 years. He drew up my will with Marcus. He knows my family. He knows me. Dorothy! His voice is warm, concerned. I haven't heard from you in months. How are you? Martin, I need your help, and I don't have much time. I tell him everything. The pretend memory loss. Diana's plan to sell my house. Jack trying to access my accounts. The power of attorney they want me to sign. There's a long silence. Dorothy, he says carefully, this is serious. If what you're telling me is true, it's true, every word. And Martin, I need you to do something for me. Anything. I need you to come to Diana's house next week. I'm going to tell them I'm ready to sign papers. I want you there as my lawyer, but I need you to bring something specific. What? A new will, one they don't know about. And I'll need you to help me protect my assets before they can get to them. Dorothy, are you sure about this? These are your children. I know exactly who they are, Martin. That's the problem. We talk for 30 more minutes. He agrees to everything. He'll draft new documents. He'll be there. He'll help me execute what might be the hardest thing I've ever done. As I hang up, I hear Diana's car in the driveway. I put the phone back in its hiding place and shuffle into the living room, playing the part of the confused old woman they expect to see. Mom? Diana calls out. You okay? I'm fine, baby. Just watching TV. She studies me for a moment, suspicious, but then relaxes. She thinks I'm harmless. They all do. Diana has called a family meeting. She's made lunch, sandwiches and salad, and Jack is here with Nicole. Even Richard took time off work. We're all sitting around Diana's dining room table, and the energy is strange, excited, hungry. They think today is the day I surrender. Mom, Diana starts, we wanted to talk to you about your future. My future? Yes. Jack and I have been discussing what's best for you, and we think it's time to make some decisions. Jack leans forward. He's wearing one of his expensive tech bro hoodies, looking relaxed and confident. Ma, we love you. You know that. And we want to make sure you're taken care of. That's nice. So we've talked to some people, lawyers, financial advisors, and we think the smart move is to give Diana and me power of attorney, just in case something happens and you can't make decisions. What kind of decisions? Medical decisions, financial decisions, all of it, Diana says. It's really just a formality. It doesn't change anything day to day. It's just protection. Protection from what? From people taking advantage of you, Jack says smoothly. You know how it is. Older people are targets for scams, for exploitation. If we have POA, we can protect you. The irony is suffocating. And your house, Diana adds. We think it might be time to sell it. Sell my house? Mom, you're not living there anymore. You're living here, with me, where you're safe. The house is just sitting empty, and it's a lot of money tied up in property that could be earning interest, could be invested. Could be split between you and Jack? I say quietly. The room goes silent. Diana's face hardens. Mom, that's not fair. Isn't it? We're trying to help you, Jack says. This is what families do. They take care of each other. Like you took care of me when you borrowed $15,000 and never paid it back. Jack's face flushes. That was a loan for a business. That failed, and I never asked for the money back. I never mentioned it. Because you're my son, and I loved you, and I wanted you to succeed. Mom, that's not relevant. Or like when Diana asked me to pay for her wedding. All $40,000 of it because she wanted a dream wedding, and I didn't want to disappoint her. Diana stands up. That was a gift. You said it was a gift. It was. Because I loved you. Because I would have given you anything. I stand up too, and suddenly I don't sound confused anymore. I don't sound weak. I sound like myself. But love is supposed to go both ways, isn't it? Jack and Diana exchange glances. Mom, what's going on? Diana says carefully. You seem different. Do I? Or have I just been pretending? The confusion on their faces would be funny if my heart wasn't breaking. What do you mean pretending? Jack asks. I reach into my cardigan pocket and pull out my journal, the one where I've documented everything. I mean, I say slowly, clearly, that I've been faking it. The confusion, the memory loss, all of it. Diana's mouth falls open. What? I wanted to see who you really were. I wanted to see what you'd do if you thought I was vulnerable, if you thought I couldn't fight back. Mom, that's insane. Is it? Because from where I'm standing, I gave you exactly what you wanted. A helpless mother you could control. A confused old woman you could manipulate. An easy mark. Jack's face goes red. We weren't manipulating you. No? Then what do you call trying to access my bank accounts? What do you call planning to sell my house without my permission? What do you call hiding my shoes so I couldn't leave? We were protecting you, Diana shouts. From who? From myself? Or from spending my money in ways that don't benefit you? Richard stands up. Dorothy, I think you're confused. Don't. I turn to him, and my voice is ice. Don't you dare tell me I'm confused. I heard you and Diana in the kitchen, 2 a.m, 3 weeks ago, talking about how you're over-leveraged, about Madison's tuition, about needing my house to solve your financial problems. Diana's face goes white. You were listening? I've been watching everything, listening to everything, documenting everything, every conversation about selling my house, every plan to take control of my money, every manipulation disguised as concern. I open the journal and start reading. March 15th. Jack called to ask about my estate documents. Didn't ask how I was feeling. Just wanted to know about the will. March 20th. Diana brought a consultant to assess my house without my permission. She's building a case that I'm incompetent. April 2nd. Diana photographed a tea stain to document my incidents. Sent me to my room like a child. With each date, each entry, I watch their faces change. Shock, anger, fear. Because they're realizing that I know everything. You thought I was slipping away, I say, my voice breaking now. You thought you could start dividing up my life while I was still alive, while I was still here, still breathing, still your mother. Ma, you don't understand. Jack starts. I understand perfectly. I understand that the 2 children I sacrificed everything for, everything, have been waiting for me to die so they can cash in. That's not true, Diana's crying now. We love you. Do you? Because love doesn't plan to sell someone's home without asking. Love doesn't try to steal someone's independence. Love doesn't treat their mother like a burden to be managed. The doorbell rings. Diana looks confused. Who's that? That, I say, would be my lawyer. Martin Bernard walks in carrying a briefcase. He's a tall black man in his 60s, dressed in an impeccable suit, with kind eyes that have seen too much family drama over the years. "Good afternoon," he says formally. "I'm Martin Bernard, Mrs. Richardson's attorney." "What's he doing here?" Jack demands. "I invited him," I say, "because we're going to sign some papers today. Just not the ones you wanted." I turn to Martin. "Did you bring them?" "I did." He opens his briefcase and pulls out a stack of documents. "Mrs. Richardson, I've prepared everything as we discussed." Diana looks panicked. "Mom, what is this?" "This," I say, "is me taking back control of my life." Martin spreads the papers on the table. "First document," he says, "a revocation of any previous power of attorney designations. Second, a new will. Third, a trust document. And fourth, a cease and desist notice." "A what?" Jack's face is purple now. "Mr. Richardson attempted to access his mother's bank accounts last week," Martin says calmly. "Without authorization. The bank flagged it and called me. That's fraud, Mr. Richardson. I could press charges." Jack looks like he might pass out. "I'm not going to," I say, "because despite everything, you're still my son. But I am going to make sure you never have access to my money again." I pick up the new will. My hands aren't shaking anymore. "Martin, please explain to my children what this document says." Martin puts on his reading glasses. "Mrs. Richardson's new will leaves the bulk of her estate, her house, her savings, her investments, to the Oakland Senior Center and to Miss Shirley Patterson, her longtime friend and caregiver." "What?" Diana screams. "You're leaving everything to strangers?" "The Senior Center isn't strangers. It's where I volunteered for 20 years, where I helped people who had nowhere else to go. And Shirley isn't a stranger. She's been more family to me in the past month than either of you have been in years." "What about us?" Jack asks, his voice small. "You each get $1, I say. So you can't contest the will and claim I forgot you. I didn't forget. I'm leaving you exactly what you've earned." Diana sinks into her chair, sobbing. "Mom, please. We made mistakes. We're sorry." "Are you? Are you sorry you tried to steal from me? Or are you sorry you got caught?" She can't answer. "You want to know the worst part?" I say, and now I'm crying too. "I would have given you anything, if you'd just asked, if you just loved me. But you couldn't even do that. You couldn't even pretend to care about me as a person instead of as a bank account." I turn to Martin. "Where do I sign?" It takes 20 minutes to sign everything. Diana and Jack watch in horror as I sign away their inheritance. Richard has left the room. Nicole is on her phone, probably calling a lawyer. But it's done. My house is protected in a trust. My money is protected. My medical decisions are in the hands of Shirley, not my children. And most importantly, I'm free. "There's one more thing," I tell Diana. "I'll be moving out today." "Mom, Shirley's picking me up in an hour. I'll be staying with her until I'm ready to go back to my own house. Which, by the way, is never being sold. When I die, it goes to the Senior Center to be used as transitional housing for elderly women escaping financial abuse. The irony of that isn't lost on anyone." "You're really doing this?" Jack asks, and for the first time I hear something real in his voice. Maybe regret, maybe loss. I don't know. "You did this," I tell him. "Both of you. You made your choice when you decided I was worth more to you dead than alive." We never said that. You didn't have to. I heard it in every conversation, every plan, every manipulation. I stand up, gathering my things. I loved you, I say, my voice breaking. God knows I loved you. I gave you everything I had. I sacrificed my whole life for you, and you repaid me by trying to steal what little I had left. Mom, please. Diana reaches for me. I step back. Don't touch me. Don't call me. Don't come to my house. If you need something, go through Martin. But as far as I'm concerned, I don't have children anymore. The silence in that room is deafening. I walk to the door, and Martin follows me. Behind me, I hear Diana collapse into sobs. I hear Jack cursing. I hear their whole world falling apart. Good. Let them feel what I felt. Let them lose something they took for granted. Let them understand what it means to be alone. Outside, Shirley's car is waiting. She gets out when she sees me, her face full of concern and love. You okay, baby? She asks, wrapping me in a hug. I will be, I say. And as we drive away from Diana's house, from that prison disguised as care, I look back one time. Jack and Diana are standing in the doorway, watching me leave. They look lost, broken, like children who finally realize they went too far. But it's too late for regrets. It's too late for apologies. Some bridges, once burned, can never be rebuilt. And these bridges? They're ashes. I'm back in my own house now. My houseplants are thriving. Turns out Diana never watered them like she promised, but Mrs. Chen from next door did. She'd been checking on the place, bless her heart. Everything is exactly as I left it. My chair, my photos, my life. Shirley helped me clean everything, aired it out, made it feel like home again. You sure you want to stay here alone? She asked me that first night back. Alone is better than being with people who want to use you, I told her. And it's true. The house is quiet, but it's my quiet, my peace. I've started volunteering at the senior center again. 4 days a week, I'm there, helping other elderly folks navigate the system, watching for signs of financial abuse, sharing my story. Because I'm not the only one. Lord knows I'm not. So many older people are trapped by children who see them as nothing more than future inheritances, who gaslight them, manipulate them, steal from them slowly until there's nothing left. I'm helping them, teaching them to protect themselves, showing them they have rights, they have power, they have worth beyond their bank accounts. It's healing me, this work, giving me purpose again. One Tuesday afternoon, there's a letter in my mailbox. No return address. But I recognize Diana's handwriting. My hands shake as I open it. Dear Mom, I don't know if you'll read this. I don't know if you'll care, but I need to say it anyway. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for everything, for treating you like a burden, for planning to sell your house, for thinking more about money than about you. I've been in therapy. Jack has too. We're trying to understand how we became the kind of people who would do what we did, how we lost sight of what matters. I can't speak for Jack, but I can tell you what I've realized. I was so focused on keeping up appearances, on maintaining this perfect life I'd built, that I forgot the person who sacrificed everything so I could build it in the first place. You worked 2 jobs so I could go to college. You paid for my wedding when you couldn't afford it. You babysat Madison and Tyler countless times, never complaining. You gave and gave and gave. And I took. I just kept taking. I don't expect you to forgive me. I don't expect you to let me back into your life. I just need you to know that I see it now. I see what I did, and I hate myself for it. The kids ask about you. They miss their grandma. Madison cries sometimes, says she doesn't understand why you don't come over anymore. I haven't told them the truth. I don't know how to explain that their mother is the villain in this story. I love you, Mom. I know I didn't show it. I know I don't deserve to say it. But I do. I love you. And I'm sorry I made you feel like you had to test us to find out who we really were. If you ever want to talk, I'm here, but I understand if you don't. Love. Diana, I read the letter 3 times. Then I fold it carefully and put it in a drawer. I don't cry. I don't feel anger. I don't feel triumph. I just feel tired. That evening, Shirley comes over for tea. We sit on my back porch like we used to before all of this started. Diana wrote to me. I tell her. Did she? Says she's sorry. Says she's in therapy. Shirley sips her tea. What are you going to do? I don't know. Part of me wants to believe her. Wants to think she's really changed. And the other part? The other part remembers what she did. What they both did. And wonders if sorry is enough. Shirley reaches over and takes my hand. Dorothy, I'm going to tell you something, and I need you to really hear me. You don't owe them forgiveness. You don't owe them anything, not after what they put you through. But they're my children, and you're their mother, which means they should have treated you better. Being family doesn't give people the right to abuse you, financially or emotionally. I know she's right, but it still hurts. I'm proud of you, Shirley says suddenly, for standing up for yourself, for fighting back. So many people in your situation just give in. They sign the papers. They let their children take everything because they're afraid of being alone, or they feel guilty, or they think maybe their kids are right and they are losing it. I almost did give in, I admit. There were nights in Diana's house where I thought maybe it would be easier to just surrender, to let them win. But you didn't. No, because I remembered something Marcus used to say. What's that? Dorothy May, don't ever let anyone make you small. You're a queen, and queens don't bow. Shirley laughs, tears in her eyes. That man knew what he had. He did. I smile, thinking about Marcus, wishing he was here. He'd be proud of me too, I think. He'd be furious at Jack and Diana, that's for sure. We sit in comfortable silence for a while, watching the sun set over my backyard. So what now? Shirley asks. What's next for Dorothy Richardson? Next? I think about it. Next I live. I enjoy my house. I help people at the senior center. I water my plants. I drink tea with my best friend. I do all the things I couldn't do when I was pretending to be someone I wasn't. And your kids, that's up to them. If they really want a relationship, if they really want to change, they need to show me, not tell me, show me. And if they don't, then I have a good life without them. It won't be the life I imagined when they were babies. It won't be the happy family endings in the movies. But it'll be mine, and it'll be honest. It's a Saturday morning in late fall when the doorbell rings. I'm not expecting anyone. Shirley's coming by later, but not until afternoon. I open the door and there's Diana. She looks different, tired, older. Her expensive clothes are gone, replaced by jeans and a simple sweater. No makeup, hair in a ponytail. She looks like the Diana I remember from college. Before the money, before the image, before everything got complicated. Hi, Mom, she says quietly. I don't say anything. Just look at her. I'm not here to ask for anything, she says quickly. I wanted you to see something. She hands me a folder. What's this? Proof of what I've been doing. I open it. Inside are bank statements, receipts, letters. Richard and I sold the vacation house, Diana says. We downsized. We moved to a smaller place, cut our expenses. We're living within our means now. No more trying to keep up with everyone else. I flip through the papers. She's telling the truth. I quit real estate, she continues. I'm working as a counselor now, at a nonprofit that helps seniors avoid financial abuse. I'm using what I did to you to help make sure it doesn't happen to other people. I look up at her, surprised. The pay is terrible, she admits with a weak smile. But it's honest work. And every time I help someone protect themselves, I think of you. I think about how strong you had to be to fight back against your own children. Why are you telling me this? Because I want you to know that I'm changing. Really changing. Not just saying it, but doing it. And I don't expect you to forgive me. I don't expect anything. I just need you to know that what you did, exposing us, standing up for yourself, it didn't just save you. It saved me, too. Tears are running down her face now. I was becoming someone I didn't recognize, Mom. Someone greedy and cold and entitled. You stopped that. You held up a mirror and made me see what I'd become. And it was horrifying, but necessary. I'm crying too now. I miss you, Diana whispers. Madison and Tyler miss you. Not your money, not your house. You, your laugh, your stories, your Sunday pot roast, the way you used to braid Madison's hair, the way you'd listen to Tyler talk about his video games even though you didn't understand them. She wipes her eyes. I know I don't deserve a second chance. I know that. But if someday, if you ever feel ready, I'd like to try to earn it. I'd like to show you that I can be the daughter you deserved all along. The silence stretches between us. Finally, I speak. Come in. What? Come in. I just made tea. We can talk. Diana's face lights up. Really? Really. But Diana? Yes? This doesn't fix everything. It's going to take time. A lot of time. You broke my trust, and trust isn't rebuilt overnight. I know. And if you ever try to manipulate me again, if you ever make me feel small or helpless or like I'm a burden, we're done. Forever. No second chances after that. I understand. Okay, then come have some tea with your mother. We walk into the house together. She sits at my kitchen table, the same table where she ate breakfast as a child, where she did her homework, where we had 1,000 family meals. I pour the tea. We talk. Carefully at first, then more freely. About her kids. About her new job. About therapy. About shame and regret and the long road back to being a good person. I don't forgive her. Not yet. Maybe not ever completely. But I listen. And for today, that's enough. It's Thanksgiving, and my house is full. Shirley's here with her daughter, Clara. Martin Bernard came too. He's become a good friend over this past year. Mrs. Chen from next door. A few folks from the senior center who had nowhere else to go. And Diana is here. Just Diana. No Richard, no kids this year. We're taking it slow. Building something new. Jack hasn't come around. He's still angry. Still doesn't understand what he did wrong. Maybe someday he will. Maybe he won't. But I've made my peace with that. We're gathered around my dining room table, the one Marcus built 30 years ago. The table is covered with food, turkey and stuffing and sweet potatoes and greens and pie. Before we eat, Shirley asks me to say grace. I look around the table at these faces. Some family, some friends, some strangers who became family. And I realize something. This is what I was looking for. This connection, this honesty, this love that doesn't come with conditions or calculations. Dear Lord, I say, thank you for this food. Thank you for these people. Thank you for the strength to fight for myself when I needed to. Thank you for the wisdom to know my worth. And thank you for second chances, even when they're hard-earned. Amen, everyone echoes. As we start passing dishes, Diana catches my eye. Thank you, she mouths silently. I nod. It's not forgiveness, not yet, but it's hope, and that's something. Epilogue. Dorothy's final words. Later that night, after everyone's gone and the dishes are washed and put away, I sit on my porch with a cup of tea. The neighborhood is quiet. The stars are out. I think about everything that's happened. The pain, the betrayal, the fight, the slow, hard work of rebuilding. And I think about all the women out there who might be going through something similar, who might be wondering if they're crazy for feeling used, who might be afraid to stand up for themselves because these are their children, their family, and isn't family supposed to come first? So if you're listening to my story, let me tell you something important. You are not a bank account. You are not an inheritance. You are not a burden. You are a human being with worth and dignity and rights. And if the people who are supposed to love you can't see that, if they treat you like you're only valuable for what you can give them, then you have every right to protect yourself, even if it's from your own children. I know it's hard. Lord knows it's the hardest thing I've ever done. But I'm still here, in my house, on my terms, living my life with dignity. And if I can do it at 72 years old, you can too. Remember, sometimes you have to lose your memory to remember who truly loves you. Sometimes you have to pretend to be weak to discover your strength. And sometimes the best gift you can give yourself is the truth, no matter how much it hurts. I'm Dorothy Mae Richardson. I'm a mother, a friend, a survivor, and I'm nobody's fool. Not anymore.